If you're searching for a wrestling podcast that's filled with fun.
This is definitely Davey Boy Smith's finest fucking moment.
He goes, he fell on his ass. He fell on his ass.
Couple of haters.
Couple haters.
That's David.
Wrestling nostalgia.
But I will take you back to May 26th, 1996. It was a stormy night. The wind was howling.
Latest pro wrestling news and rumours.
We've heard about the situations between WWE, Sasha Banks and Naomi.
And hilarious tangents.
Let's not tangent off. No Samoan spikes.
That's it.
Fucking tangents.
Then look no further. Join your hosts James, Stu and Jonny and subscribe to Top Turnbuckle Podcast.
Hello and welcome to episode 8 of Top Turnbuckle Podcast with me, Stu.
And me, James.
And, oh hang on, we seem to be missing one. Where's Jonny?
I don't know.
Fuck's sake, fucking let us down, hasn't he? Sorry folks, unfortunately Jonny couldn't be with us tonight. But we've had to go on, and with Jonny's blessing, we've continued this episode. Jonny, unfortunately, is a bit under the weather, but has asked us to carry on, and carry on regardless we will. We do send our best wishes to yourself, Jonny. Hope you're okay and get better soon, mate.
Yeah, and we miss you here, mate. It feels kind of empty now, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Like, even though it's just me and you, since when we started.
Well, yeah.
Now that Jonny's sort of... We're so used to having Jonny here, it feels like we're actually missing something, which is really weird.
It feels weird. It's like we've lost part of the podcast family.
Yeah. He'll be back, episode 9.
He will be back. And at some point during this week, after we finish recording, we will be airing a live feed at some point on our Facebook channel. So, our Facebook page. So stay tuned for that, folks. And as always, we'll give out some details as and when that's going to happen. So hopefully you guys can get involved with us.
Yeah, and what that will involve is, guys, we'll make sure, because Jonny has done a lot of work, as we always do. We always do a lot of work ourselves in actually researching our picks and things like that. So what we'll do is for Jonny is we'll work out a way, because we are kind of idiot savants.
Chief idiots.
With technology, what we will do is we will do a Facebook Live and we'll talk to Jonny about his picks. That'll be pretty cool.
Yeah, that'll be awesome. So today, on this episode, we'll be talking about our top 3 NXT title matches and our best moment and elimination match from Survivor Series, past and present.
Yeah. Well, we've got the Survivor Series coming up.
That's exactly why I picked it.
Yeah, and I think as well, which is really interesting, we kind of changed this, didn't we? Because we were going to go for best Survivor Series matches, but I think it's kind of interesting to look at the Survivor Series, really the format of what it should have been.
Well, what it was originally. It was a series of elimination matches.
Yeah, and it was a Thanksgiving special occasion. That's how it was put in America to start with. And it was basically teams of 5 against each other. And what we've done is we've actually made it so you have to choose an elimination match.
That's right. And believe me, folks, there's a lot of absolute classic matches out there to pick from. Any of you guys have got the WWE Network. I mean, Christ. I'll test your knowledge straight away. What year was the first one?
Fucking hell. Okay, I think it was 87. It might have been 86. It was the second event after WrestleMania.
Yeah.
It's the second oldest event in WWE.
Yeah.
A lot of people think that maybe SummerSlam is or Royal Rumble. It's not. It's the Survivor Series. The Survivor Series was a special occasion for Thanksgiving. Yeah. Basically, it was a pay-per-view just for everyone to sit around in America, have their turkey, their pumpkin pie, and sit and watch wrestling.
What's not to love about that?
Yep.
So, without further ado, we'll crack on with our top 3s.
Yeah, absolutely, mate.
Do you want to go first?
Yeah, so this is NXT matches, isn't it?
NXT title matches.
Okay, well, I just want to start by saying, Stu, this is really interesting for me because I actually sat down and I watched NXT and the takeovers and everything like that. And I managed to pick 2 NXT UK title matches.
Very nice. See, I got to be honest, I came into NXT quite late.
Yeah.
Really late. And I haven't watched a great deal of the NXT UK.
Okay.
I know a fair bit about it, don't get me wrong. You know, I know the big names, this, that and the other. I've watched a few matches on YouTube, on, you know, WWE Network as well. So my knowledge personally of NXT UK is pretty basic, to be fair.
Mine's not that massive either, really. The fact of the matter is that I actually sat down and watched the takeovers. And I know this sounds silly, but there are certain epic title matches that I've sat and watched so many times that I was looking at the takeovers and suddenly, like, anything that would jump out at me, I would go, wow, that was a really good fucking match, you know? And funnily enough, there was 2 and they just happened to be NXT title matches. They didn't happen on NXT UK. These actually happened on takeovers.
Oh, nice.
So my first pick is the Bruiserweight Pete Dunne versus Tyler Bate.
Nice.
This match is awesome. It's absolutely awesome. It's got everything that you would want. It kind of is a slow burner.
Right.
It starts off, there's quite a lot of groundwork.
Yeah.
You've got the real, even though he's loved, he's supposed to be the real, like, antagonistic, nasty heel Pete Dunne. And then you've got the guy who I still rave about now, you've heard me, Tyler Bate.
Yeah.
How many? I don't know how old he is now. I reckon he's about mid-20s, 25 maybe. How much experience has Tyler Bate got? He won the NXT UK tournament, the original tournament.
Yeah, that bit I did know, yeah.
At the age of 19.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And he just grew throughout that tournament. At first, he was kind of like, do you remember, was it Gentleman Jack Gallagher?
Yes.
Do you remember him? At first, when you first saw Tyler, you thought maybe he's a bigger version of, like, him, but he wasn't. He was so much more.
Yeah.
And as he grew into that tournament, he just got better and better and better. And this was the final from that tournament that Tyler Bate actually won.
Right, okay.
Dunne got to the final, and this was kind of a rematch.
Yeah.
And this match is just amazing. There's beautiful groundwork in this match. There's high flying in this match. There's physicality, and obviously, as these guys are known, along with Trent Seven, British Strong Style.
Yeah.
And there's kind of an energy to this match where about 20 minutes in, it's just getting better and better. To the point, I think this was one of the first times where you heard in WWE the Fight Forever.
Right.
Chant.
Right,
There's one point where the 2 of them come together and they just start hitting each other with punches. And the crowd just go crazy.
Nice.
It's just class. I'm not going to spoil this match for anyone because I think this match might go under the radar a little. And please watch this match. It's so good. And also, let me know, guys, if you listen to the podcast on the Facebook group, what do you think of Tyler Bate? Because I think he should be called up. I think he's so good. Yeah.
He needs to be, and hopefully with the old switcheroo of the powers that be at the moment, you know, fingers crossed. Fingers crossed that, you know, that day will finally happen for him.
Yeah,
it is deserved. It is well deserved.
He's fantastic. As I say, I'm not going to go into the intricacies of this match too much. All I'm going to do is I'm just going to say this match's got everything. Slow burner, gets better as it goes along. False finishes, just a really well put together match. These 2 are friends in real life. They must have fought each other a million times, and it shows. Their chemistry's amazing. And that's my first one. It's a fantastic match.
Brilliant. Check it out, guys, if you get the chance. Right, my first pick's actually from a house show on May 20th, 2020, and it was for the NXT Women's Championship, and it's Io Shirai versus Rhea Ripley.
Okay, this is interesting. I've never seen this match.
It's not the longest match in the world. I think it's between 15 and 18 minutes.
Okay.
It is a short but sweet match, but it is just an amazing mixture of 2 completely different styles of wrestling.
Yeah.
You know, you don't tend to see in that era of NXT, especially for Rhea Ripley, her do a lot of groundwork. She was more the powerhouse.
Yeah.
Which, you know, let's face it, that's what she's known for. And she genuinely managed to portray herself as a ground grappler.
Yeah.
You know, her hold moves on the mat were just mind-blowing. Absolutely mind-blowing. And, you know, everything that was, you know, had been worked between Shirai and Ripley was second to none. You know, as I said, you know, it's that perfect combination of Io Shirai's Far Eastern style of wrestling, that, you know, New Japan style that we all absolutely love. You know, what's not to love about that style of wrestling, versus Ripley's powerhouse holds. But the two somehow in the middle managed to merge those two styles to work perfectly, and it really did work. Their counter work was even better. Again, I'm not, much like James said, I'm not going to go into the final result in case anyone hasn't watched it. Go and check it out. I love it. I absolutely love it. And again, like you said, it's one of those matches that has gone under the radar completely. It really has. And, you know, unfortunately as well, it definitely didn't get the publicity that it deserved because it was during the height of COVID.
Okay.
There's only a select few people that are, you know, obviously ringside.
Yeah.
With the perspex barriers and face masks and everything else on, you know, fair play for them taking precautions. And it lost that key element because it's much like you said with Dunn and Bates.
Well, the NXT universe, or fans, as we can call them now.
Yeah.
They're the heart and soul of it.
So passionate.
Yeah.
They would have been behind this like wildfire. It really was that good. And like I said, it's like 15 to 18 minutes long.
Yeah, I'd like to see this.
It's really, really good. It's a perfect example of, you know, two different styles and cultures of wrestling put together to make something that was just brilliant. It is a proper, spectacular, breathtaking match. Awesome. And it needs the publicity that it didn't get.
Yeah.
And that's my number 3 pick.
Well, you certainly helped it here because I'd like to see it. I never saw it.
It's so
I
good.
apologise that I can't help you too much, because I never saw it. I literally never saw the match. So.
I think that was the case during, you know, obviously the COVID.
Yeah.
You know, COVID era of, you know, the performance centre wrestling. A lot of hype was lost with some great matches because obviously no crowd involvement. And I think, you know, I'm pretty sure that viewing ratings did actually, you know, plummet quite a lot.
I think it's really difficult, actually, because maybe the atmosphere wasn't as good, but I wouldn't read too much into the ratings because obviously everyone was at home.
Yeah.
So it's really difficult to really base it off of the ratings because...
I think as well, like a lot of people, I mean, myself included, you know, while we were at home with COVID, while we were all keeping away from it.
You watch anything.
Yeah.
And that's the thing.
Have never, ever... There is so much shit that I watched on Netflix and Prime, you know, stuff that I'd never, ever think of watching, you know. I mean, I've mates of mine I know that said they sat and binge watched The Crown and said it was phenomenal.
Yeah.
I'm one of those that said, get fucked, I'm still not watching it. I don't give a shit. Sorry, anyone that likes The Crown out there, you know, stick it up your ass for all I care. I don't give a shit. It's
my
not
mum likes The Crown, by the way.
I apologise to your mum.
Yeah. They love it.
But it's... like I said, it is sadly it is unfortunate that, you know, that the crowd wasn't there, but those that were there, they do give it the respect that it got, and it is such a good match to watch. It really is, and please go and check it out.
Fantastic! I love the passion for it. It's made me want to watch it, mate.
I've got a lot of respect for Ripley and Shirai, and I mean, don't like we were talking about last week, obviously with the last pay-per-view where Shirai came out with Bailey and Dakota Kai. I was stoked that those two came out, and then when Shirai came out, I nearly lost my shit. You know, best move should have happened a long time ago.
It's just what we've been missing from wrestling. We've been missing surprises. No one saw that coming.
No. So there you go. Yeah, that's my number. That's my number 3 pick.
Okay.
Because I do mine in order.
Mine are really difficult to put in order.
Oh, I stand by my picks. I really do.
What, the order?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, mine are really difficult to...
Johnny, what do you think? Oh, he's not here. Sorry, mate. We miss you.
Yeah, well, we obviously do, you see. Fucking hell. Right, so I'll move on to my number 2.
Go for it, mate.
Okay, so you're going to help me with this guy's name because I struggle with this guy's name. I really do, and I'm always honest.
I'm pretty sure that was the first question you asked me when I walked in the house.
It is, because I actually really, really like the wrestler that we're talking about. Obviously, we're drum rolling it, but the wrestler that I really, really like him, but I don't know his name.
Just point at me every time you want it said.
Okay.
Ilya Dragunov.
Okay. So it's Ilya Dragunov versus Walter.
Yeah.
This match is amazing.
Yes, it is.
Both of them are amazing. I've gone for the rematch. What can you say?
My chest hurts just thinking about it, to be honest.
This match, the reason I love this match so much is because you've got Walter in there who's an absolute beast.
Yeah.
And then you've got Dragunov, who's actually quite small.
It's a proper David and Goliath moment, isn't it?
But what's fantastic about this match, even though it's David and Goliath, is Dragunov doesn't appear that way.
No.
He appears like, my God, I don't want to use the word psycho because that's unfair, like passionate. It's a hard hitting match.
It's a heart on a sleeve match.
It's just, it's just two men with a love for the craft and the passion in this match, the skill in this match. All this match is fought close quarters.
Yeah.
Or the vast majority of it. It's the soul of NXT, this match. For me, it's a stunning match. And I'm not the only one that thinks this because I recently read that this is the highest rated match WWE have ever done. Wouldn't surprise me at all. It really wouldn't surprise me. It's that good. It got 5 stars and a quarter.
Wow.
Yeah. I mean, I don't read too much into the star system because it's Dave Meltzer's system, but yeah, it's the highest rated match that they did. Again, I'm not going to go into too much detail, guys, because I'd like you to see it. Yeah, basically,
just prepare to have an ice pack ready for the amount of pain that you're going to feel for Dragunov's chest.
But at the same time, Walters, there's some. The one thing I will say about Dragunov is this sounds really strange, but it's not. It works.
Yeah,
Dragunov chops Walter everywhere. At one point, he even does a backhand chop. And this sounds silly when we're talking about it, but watch it during the match. It's amazing. He does a spinning backhand chop to his thighs. Yeah. Basically because they're both wearing each other out with these hard-hitting...
I genuinely, especially of modern-day matches, I think that is the one that I've gone, at the most.
It's very believable.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
There's a passion there from them both for the craft.
Yeah.
Dragunov reminds me of Shawn Michaels, and the reason why in the ring I say that is because Shawn Michaels was actually a small guy. But did you ever think that Shawn Michaels was a small guy?
No, see, Dragunov, I mean, like you say, Dragunov is a small guy, but he carries himself so big.
There's a presence there is what I'm talking about. Yeah. I'll give you an example.
Bit like Enzo.
A little bit. I wouldn't go that fucking far. But what I mean is by Michaels is that, okay, let's put it that way. Michaels versus The Undertaker.
Yeah.
Right? Michaels versus Diesel. These are big men against Michaels, but Michaels still feels like a legitimate guy in there who can win.
Yeah.
That's how I'm trying to get it across,
guys. He carries himself like a heavyweight.
Almost his presence and aura does in matches. Yeah. If you remember WrestleMania 25 and WrestleMania 26, Michaels versus The Undertaker, both matches.
Yeah.
Was anyone talking about Michaels' size?
No, not once.
No, because those two appeared like equals.
Yeah.
Even the career and the street, and that says a lot about Shawn Michaels.
Absolutely.
You know?
Absolutely.
And Dragunov has that feel.
Yeah.
To me.
Yeah. Do you know what? Yeah, I'll be honest, I'd never thought of it in that kind of comparison. But yeah, you're absolutely fucking bang on right.
Yeah, because you've got Walter there, and Walter's been smacking everyone down. Walter cannot put this guy away. It's like, what the fuck do I have to do in the rematch to put this guy away? Yeah. And in the end, that's what's great about wrestling, guys. You forget about the size of Dragunov in this match because the heart and the passion of the guy is as big as Walter's.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's the creative that's being told. And it's so well done.
It works. And, for that, you have to thank everyone backstage for that. And obviously the two guys in the ring.
It's fantastic.
I will admit, I have seen this match. I have seen this one. And it is phenomenal. I deliberately stayed away from this one because I had a feeling either you or Jonny was going to have it.
Yeah.
Have you got it in yours, Jonny? Oh, he's not fucking you. Fuck's sake, Jonny. I'm going to keep doing this. It's in the Facebook messaging. I don't think he actually told us, did he? It was only me that told everyone, I think. I don't remember.
I'll have to go back and
he asked me, and I don't think I replied. I carried on another conversation.
You two made me laugh because you two were talking and asking the questions, and I was the only one who told everybody. Yeah,
so surprise you, isn't it?
Yeah. No, I'd be interested to see what Johnny's picked.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm sure we'll find out eventually.
As I say, guys, there are so many good matches, like main event style matches of NXT that you can go for that people are probably thinking, well, why hasn't he gone for like Ciampa versus Gargano and things like that?
I deliberately stayed away from that because, they were great. They were great. They were the brilliant series. They were fantastic. And even when they were, Team DIY, their tag matches, their title matches, they were brilliant. But
I just have to go with what I watched and what I thought was the best matches on the card when I went through the NXT pay-per-views.
Yeah. One last thing I'm going to say, and I'll let you finish, was even just listening to how we've been talking about that, and I know we've only picked a couple so far from our top three, or you've done two, I've done one. I genuinely think this is the most passionate top three that we've done.
Yeah, because it's pure wrestling, it's pro wrestling.
This has been the most fun. And don't get me wrong, I've enjoyed everything that we've done so far.
Yeah.
But going back and checking out all these NXT title matches, for me, this has probably been the most fun that I've checked out, that I've really enjoyed.
It's because it's a style that certainly suits our age group.
Yeah. The
NXT era. Because
absolutely.
What we grew up on was...
Yeah. It's this style.
Yeah.
This character development, this longevity, as we always say, talk about things.
Yeah, you'll find that in my third one, actually.
Oh, you find that in
my third one, you might not know about, Stu, if you didn't watch NXT and you're late to it.
Yeah. Go for it, mate.
No, it's your turn.
Oh, you're right.
I'm finished. I've just done, you can do the name for me.
Ilya Dragunov.
Thank you very much, Stu.
Versus...
Walter.
Or
Gunther.
No, bollocks that. No, I'm not having that. No, fuck off. It's Walter.
Yep.
It's always going to be Walter. There's going to be a Walter chance at Clash at the Castle, don't you?
The UK fans are very rebellious,
absolutely.
And I can see that happening, yeah.
I think there might be a few bleeps kicking out on the live feed for that one.
They're going to have trouble with the crowd because...
Big time.
If anyone's listening from the USA, we touched on this in the last episode. The crowd interaction within football and rugby is very, very...
Tribal.
Tribal is a brilliant word. And also, there's a lot of... It's very adult. Like, there will be a lot... I would be shocked if there isn't very loud, audible swear words.
Oh, yeah.
From the crowd.
Yeah, absolutely.
There's one thing, and all crowds are different. Like, it's not saying that the US crowds are not passionate, but the UK crowds, as Stu said, it's a culture, and it's a very tribal culture with the football teams. Especially, I'd say, with the football teams.
Yes.
And some of them are damn right hilarious. They're not even about football.
You got to applaud the creativity. And still one of my favourite ones I could always remember from football was it Southampton?
I have no idea.
Jason Lee?
No, Nottingham Forest.
Was it? Yeah. He's got a pineapple on his head. And they only started singing that. I mean, you can listen back to it now and kind of go, actually, that sounds pretty fucking racist. It's because he used to tie his dreadlocks up in a bunch on the top of his head, and it did look a bit like a pineapple crown.
Yeah, it did. One of my favourites, I'll go with one of my favourites, recently, because I love it when the crowd give someone something back when they've been an arsehole. I recently watched, and I forgot his name. You know who I mean, the West Ham defender who hit the cat.
What's
his name?
I can't remember his name, but
Kurt Zuma.
That's the one.
Kurt Zuma, right? I watched Man City versus West Ham, right? And someone gave him a crunching tackle, and from the crowds, this is how great our crowd is, guys, the UK crowd, they were chanting, "That's how your cat feels. That's how your cat..." Because he was down, injured, like badly, and they were chanting that at the guy while he was like writhing around in pain.
Oh, fucking hell. So, my personal experience, one that I've had, and I'm sorry we're going on a bit of a tangent here about, football.
Yeah, but that's what these guys, if there's any US guys listening, that's the kind of atmosphere that's going to be in there.
My one is because I was there for this one, and it was... God, it was Christ. We're talking about 2011, 2010 possibly, and it was a Six Nations game, Ireland versus England at Twickenham, and I was lucky enough to go to the game. First time I've ever been to Twickenham. I know being a Scotland supporter, that's a bit treacherous, but it doesn't matter because you've got all the home and away supporters. Unlike most sports, home and away supporters in rugby can all sit together and get on, verbally abuse players, and be absolutely fantastic with each other.
You can't in football.
No. However, this was coming off the back of England winning the World Cup in Australia. Now, you've got the man himself, England to kick off at Twickenham, Jonny Wilkinson, the man who literally won England the World Cup, pretty much single-handedly in that fucking tournament. So he does his weird little, thumb out, kind of crouch down. He's getting ready to hoof that ball down the other end of the pitch. He kicks it. It goes about 5 yards. Two Irish guys sat behind me were wetting themselves, and one of them went, "You're not in fucking Sydney now, mate."
Yeah, there are some brilliant ones.
That whole end of that stadium just erupted in laughter. It was absolutely fucking brilliant. But fair play to them, Even the England supporters were pissing themselves laughing.
I went to a match. I know we are on a tangent, but there are only two of us, so we can get away with it.
Yeah, Johnny.
I went to a match, right?
Yeah.
And I'm not going to say where it is, but it's quite close to us.
Right, okay.
Yeah, and it was so funny, right? And it sticks in my mind. It isn't actually, no one swore, it was just the way that this guy did it, right? There was this guy come over and he's called Scott Sellers, right? And he come over and he was near us and he took a corner and he went, this guy in the crowd, because there's always some guy in the crowd that you can hear clear as day, right? This guy went, fucking nice, fucking nice Y fronts, Sellers, you Geordie fucking reject. Just like that, right? And as he kicked the ball, this guy heard it, this Scott Sellers, as he kicked the ball, he scuffed the ball. Like, that's how much the crowds can be involved. Do you know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he went to like... And they went, nice Y front, Sellers, you Geordie fucking reject. Just as he was about to kick the ball and the guy fucking miskicked it off of it. It was unreal.
Well, should we go back to our original subject now?
Yes.
Right, sorry for that, folks.
If that's too long, we'll edit something.
Oh, no, fucking keep it all in. I think that was quite a good little tangent, that. We are good for tangents anyway.
What I'm going to do just quickly is we will make that actually part of the podcast for wrestling, because what we've done is we've tried to explain to you guys, if there's any American listeners, as I say, that is the type of culture that WWE wrestlers are in for.
Oh, yeah.
In the UK.
I think the likes of Drew McIntyre, Sheamus, and Pete Dunne,
he'd be fine.
They're fine. They'll be absolutely fine. Right, my second pick is from NXT TakeOver New York on April 3rd, 2019. And it is for the vacant NXT Championship. And it was the best of three falls between Johnny Gargano and Adam Cole. Baby, it's fucking brilliant.
Yeah, it's a really, really good match.
It is just fucking amazing.
Yeah, it is.
Don't get me wrong. I am a fan of Adam Cole. I am a fan of Johnny Gargano. But I was rooting for Gargano because I have never seen, especially in the modern day era, a guy go through so much.
Yeah, like I said, I think we were just talking about this off air, and I had to just clarify something with Stu. I think this is the match where the Undisputed Era come down and they throw everything at Gargano and he keeps kicking out. Is that the one? Or is that a different one?
I think it's a different one.
Okay, that match is stunning. I imagine this match is too.
This is just fucking amazing.
The problem with NXT is that there were so many fucking good matches.
Yeah.
Some of them flow into each other.
Yeah.
Like, if there was a rematch or anything like that, like the series of matches you could put on there, couldn't you?
Oh, fuck yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, I'm not taking it away from your one, but like, that's just an example. Like, when you're saying that, I'm thinking of that.
Yeah,
it's like it's just brilliant.
I mean, this match went on for, considering how much happened in this match, it feels like closer to an hour. But it went on for 38 minutes and 25 seconds. But it is non-stop. The whole way through, non-stop. And even when the matches change, the different stipulations and the different types of matches change, and then you end up finally with the cage match, and you've got weapons all, attached to the cage.
Yeah.
It is...
That's not the one I think I'm thinking of. I don't know.
It's not brutality for the sake of brutality. All of these weapons are used fucking perfectly.
Yeah.
Absolutely perfectly. And this is, for anyone who's not a fan of Johnny Gargano, I defy you to watch this and not feel nothing but respect for him afterwards. And the same for Adam Cole. This match is, I personally think, and regardless of other people's opinions, whether you like them or not, it doesn't really matter. We're all entitled to our own opinions, and, so bollocks to you. But, this is a career-defining moment for these two. And I know, obviously, Cole's had history with Ciampa and Gargano's had history with Ciampa, this, that, and the other. These were the three top guys at that point. And obviously, Ciampa was out.
Yep.
You had these two, and it could have only been these two that had to go for the vacant title. But it was done so well. The build-up for this was brilliant. This was true longevity and creative writing at its fucking best. Absolute best. It is a career-defining match, and if you haven't watched it, please, for the love of God, go on the WWE Network and watch it. And I'm pretty sure the whole match is on YouTube as well.
I would go one further, and I would say watch the series. Because, like Stu says, those two are so good that actually, I think they may have 3 matches. 3 matches. They're so good that they kind of mould into each other.
Yeah, they do. They really do.
And that's not a derogatory thing that I'm saying there. What I'm saying is they're both so good that you can't remember which match, what spot come from, because they're just so good and full of so much great creativity. Yeah, it's a really, really fantastic pick.
And like I said, it was... I think I've watched this 3 or 4 times since we announced this topic, and it's... And I will admit, 9 times out of 10, I skipped to the last match of the 2 or 3 falls, and I'm not taking anything away from the first 2, but it's just because that cage match, the final match out of the 3, was just amazing.
They're all good.
Yeah,
I can't stress that enough. It's a series of matches that kind of blend together, which is actually not a bad thing.
No, Christ no.
Especially when they're good.
Yeah, and as a whole, that takeover in New York was fucking amazing. I did go through the card 2 days ago, for every match that was on
Was that
there.
the one that Ember was on? Ember versus...
Baszler.
Ember versus Baszler,
Yeah.
was it? Yeah.
Yeah.
I was just wondering if that was the same one when she was against Asuka, but that's miles down the line, isn't it?
I mean, the whole card, I can't, for the life of me now, I can't remember what, everything else that was on there, but I do remember just reading it off going, holy shit, wow.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
They had some talent and then some.
Yeah. That's my number 2 pick. And as I said, please go and watch this match. And if you come away from it feeling nothing, then fuck me, you're human. You're inhuman. Fuck off. It's brilliant. It is fucking brilliant. Number 2 is done.
Okay, so I'll move on to my last one. Okay, I do agree with you that the storytelling in that match, which you just said was unbelievable.
Yeah.
But I'm going to attempt to top it. Okay?
Go on then, outdo me.
I'm not outdoing you at all. This is down to the talent and actually creativity, because this is a long drawn out story, the next one. My last match is Sami Zayn versus Neville.
That was
or at the time,
so close to being on my list.
Or at the time, Adrian Neville.
Yeah.
Now, this is a different Pac or Neville that we see now.
Yeah.
Or that we saw in WWE.
Same as
this was a domineering champion.
Yeah.
And Sami Zayn, this was a different Sami Zayn. This was a complete underdog style character, loved by the fans.
Oh yeah.
Almost like a cult following, similar to Daniel Bryan. And the whole build up of this story is Sami cannot win the big one.
Yeah.
There's continuous matches where Sami is seen as he's nearly there for that title. He deserves it so much, and he just falls short. And eventually he gets to Neville, this match, and Neville is fantastic in this match because I think I'm doing this off the back of not watching this match for a while, which I apologise for, but I think they were former tag team partners at one stage. I could be wrong. And there's a little backstage part, and it's purely about the title.
Yeah.
And Neville says, I'm not worried about you, Sami, because you choke. You choke, and I'm not worried. You're going to choke. You're going to come up short. And it's built up, but it's built up very slowly, and it's built up throughout Sami continuously not being able to do it until we get to this culmination, and Neville just puts the cherry on top by saying it, and then the whole crowd are behind Sami, and it's a great match, mainly just through the passion of the crowd. It's not taking away anything from the competitors, it's how much they want Sami to actually do this. But then Sami does actually win.
Spoiler alert.
I have to do that to get to the next part. Now, it's well known throughout the indies and really throughout the whole of wrestling, if you were an NXT fan, that Kevin Steen, who is of course Kevin Owens, is best friends with Sami Zayn. Now, earlier in the night, Kevin Owens debuts, and when he debuts, he is so emotional, he comes down, he's crying as he's actually debuting because it means so much to him. When Sami wins, everyone's giving him a hug, and suddenly the crowd absolutely loved this. Here comes Kevin Owens or Steen, and they hug. And the crowd loves it. It's like the greatest feel-good moment ever. Then we get this huge swerve. Owens turns on Sami, and he obliterates him and does that power bomb on the
savage.
On the corner
savage.
On the corner of the ring.
Yeah.
As only Owens can do. A lot of people have done that move, but when Owens does it, it looks like
brutal.
Yeah, it looks like his career ending, and it shocks the crowds. The crowd do not see this coming. So you have this brilliant match, you have this feel-good moment for Sami, but then he reaches the pinnacle, but then we move on to that feud. And it's so clever. It's so clever. No one sees it coming. And everyone's gutted. And immediately Owens turns from one of the most loved people just from his debut into the most hated heel
straight away.
And that's
flip of a switch.
That's where we get the prize fighter, who we all really loved.
Yeah.
That's where we get the Owens that comes out at John Cena.
Yeah, fight Owens fight.
Yep. From that promo, we immediately see what Owens is all about.
Yeah.
And
fuck me, that is an awesome pick.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was so close to being on my list.
It's a brilliant match, and I'm not taking anything away from the match. There's a sense of it's almost an urge from the fans. Just come on, we want Sammy to win. Yeah, and it's so organic and it's so well done in that audience.
Like you said, it's that best comparison that you said was of Daniel Bryan. With that cult following, and you are absolutely spot on.
But you have that wonderful moment of Sammy winning.
Yeah.
And instead of going off the air with it, there's this swerve that no one sees coming. That's so hard to do now.
Yeah.
Where there's like this lovely touching moment. I'm sure it was touching for them in the ring, and they even maybe thought to themselves, I don't really want to do this now.
Yeah.
When they heard the crowd reaction and everything. But they come together, they hug, and then you have this beatdown. Yeah. And it's so shocking. I think it goes off the air with Sammy being put on like a gurney and stuff.
Yeah.
And it's brilliant. It's so well done.
It is fucking awesome.
Yeah.
Great pick.
Okay, that's it.
Lovely days. So down to my final one. This is my number one pick.
Okay.
I won't lie, this is one of the first ones I thought of straight away.
Okay.
And I desperately struggle to find something that I personally think tops this. But my number one pick is for the NXT Championship at the NXT TakeOver New Orleans from April 7th, 2018. And it is between Aleister Black and Andrade Cien Almas.
I'm going to do this a real disservice. I cannot remember. This is on you. I watched the match. I know I've watched the match.
Yeah.
I cannot remember.
It's, again, not for a main event, not that long. It's 18 minutes, 30 seconds long. But I am going to say, and I'll state this as well, I've said before in the past, I am not much of a fan of Zelina Vega. I'm really not. I think, and I won't take away her credibility or talent as a wrestler. She is a fantastic wrestler, really, really talented. Her voice for me is like nails down a chalkboard.
Here's the thing, so I'll interject on there, Stu, just quick.
Yeah.
Because we've talked about this a lot. She's about a manager in your view, yeah?
Yes.
Right, there's nothing wrong with that.
Which is exactly where I was going with this.
Yep.
She is the key element to this match. Now, if you take her out of the equation, you've got a pretty good match. Her involvement in this match, however, is vital. 100% vital to this match. There are so many moments, and we go back to the golden age, the 90s era where, wrestlers had valets or managers and this, that, and the other, and it was fantastic. At some point, there were certain wrestlers who were more over because of their manager or their valet.
And exactly, and that was my point on why a manager, for me personally, is so important. Sometimes you can be popular by association.
Absolutely.
Some people do not, guys, have... They may be fantastic wrestlers, but they do not have charisma on the mic.
Andrade is a perfect example.
Yeah, and the whole point of a manager like a Bobby the Brain Heenan or a Jim Cornette is to sell that person. Yeah. They are like used car salesmen. That's why they're heels like that.
Well, you got to look. I mean, personally, for me, one of the greatest ones of all time is Paul Heyman.
Yeah, I mean, for me, I can't separate. Obviously, because of the territories, I watch a lot of territory stuff. Some people didn't. I can't separate Jim Cornette and Bobby Heenan. And quite funnily enough, I don't know if you know this, they can't separate each other or never used to be able to. Bobby used to say that Jim was the best. Right. And Jim used to say Bobby was the best. Right. And they were really good friends.
Yeah. But yeah, this match it's brilliant. There's a couple, as I said to James off air before we started recording this episode, there are a couple of botches in this match, which and again, much like my Rhea Ripley and Io Shirai pick, this again is also a fantastic mixture of, you know, the Mexican style, the Lucha Libre style for Andrade, but then you've also got that mixture of Muay Thai and kickboxing from Aleister Black.
Yeah.
It's fucking awesome. It's so good. The counter movements in this match they're breathtaking. They truly are breathtaking. And it's just the speed that they work at as well. For an 18-minute match, it's fucking mind-blowing how quick these guys can move constantly.
Do you want to know something? The passion that we're talking about with here, actually, I'll just move on. This is not a tangent. This is actually really interesting because I'm realising it myself as we're talking. You do realise what we're passionate about this so much because we loved it and what was going on.
Yeah.
You do realise this was Triple H.
Yeah, I know.
And that's what we've got now coming.
Yeah.
Because when you think about who put these on, we know the wrestlers do their part, and of course they do. They're the main part.
But you've got to remember the backstage that goes on behind it as well.
But Triple H is running this like a proper old school pro wrestling.
And it works.
Yep.
It worked.
And when you listen to us in our top threes, guys, Triple H really brought that out with us. Yeah. And now we've got him as the head. We should be very excited for what's coming.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
Because I was just thinking to myself, the same Neville match, it must have been like 2017, maybe earlier. And obviously I haven't written down any dates, which I apologise for, but how long did Triple H keep this up? He wasn't a one-hit wonder or some. Yeah.
Even their house shows.
And these people were continuously getting promoted, and it was like a production line keep coming through of organic, independent stars who he had turned to the sports entertainment. And what you've got is you've got a hybrid. You've got sports entertainment mixing with pro wrestling, and we have missed that for so fucking long.
Far too long. Far too long. Again, I'm not going to ruin.
Sorry.
No, it's fine.
I just spoke because as we're talking, even as we're talking, I'm thinking that in my head.
Well, no, I said that to you earlier. I think this is the most, and I know, speaking for Jonny as well here, and yourself, we love what we do. We love what we talk about. We are very passionate about the, wrestling, the top threes, our best of, worst of moments, and all the news that we cover as well. This, I genuinely think, has been our most passionate one that we've done.
Yeah, and also think back to when we were looking at the WrestleMania cards and listen to the difference.
Yeah.
Because, it was funny for the audience. When me and you were sitting here, we were fucking beside ourselves when we read the WrestleMania cards.
Absolutely.
We were like,
what the fuck is this shit? Yeah. This top three has been, I'm pretty sure you feel the same way, but this has been really exciting.
It has.
I've really, really loved it. Absolutely loved it. I'm chuffed to fucking bits I picked this for a topic.
It was a really, really good topic. And it actually goes really well with our other one, because whereas this one, guys, was very, very, I wouldn't say easy, because there are so many to choose from. The next topic, which we're not going to go into straight away, that's why it's so interesting this week. There isn't actually not that many to choose from.
No, not really.
So this is quite a good dynamic, actually.
Yeah, it has been good fun. So what else can I say about this match? The groundwork, brilliant. Yep. That lucha style groundwork, that acrobatical style of holds, on the ropes, the holds from Andrade, it's brilliant, absolutely brilliant. And then you've got Black with his Muay Thai skills, his kickboxing background. It was utilised like never before. Now, we'd all seen their talent, when they came up, when they were first, debuted on NXT. It was brilliant. And you've got two completely different styles of character. I fucking love Black.
Do you know what? I actually, and I know you love AEW.
I enjoy it.
I feel sad that Aleister Black is in AEW right now, knowing what we could have got, and with Triple H there now. Can you imagine Black there now?
I think he'd have had an almighty push. Maybe one day.
It's gutting.
We'll see.
Let's hope so.
We'll see. Same with Andrade. You know, I'm not a massive fan of Andrade,
I can't
take away the talent.
I think you made an excellent point with Andrade, and the problem with Andrade is, and he had this throughout his career, is that he's not that charismatic. He is a very, very good ring technician.
Yeah.
And Selena Vega was the person who, I don't know if anyone remembers, but he was kind of a jobber when he came in. I'm sure, this is really interesting, so I'm sure in one of his first takeover matches, he actually loses to Aleister Black when he comes in.
Ironic.
Yeah. You know where they both debut?
Yeah.
I don't know if it's Black.
Yeah.
But it's certainly a big star.
Yeah.
One of their big stars.
Yeah.
And whereas like a big star would usually be put over, wouldn't they?
Yeah.
He wasn't. When he come in, he lost. So when Vega come in as his sort of second or his manager, that elevated him massively.
Yeah.
And that's the importance
like I said,
of it.
I'm not a fan of, I'm not, like I said earlier, she is great in the ring. She really is. She's very, and I know she obviously trains with Aleister Black. But yeah, her voice just drives me fucking nuts. It's like Carmella's voice.
Yeah.
It just drives me fucking, it's just screeching. But she does that in this match.
But she's a heel.
But she does, and it's her involvement in the match.
And she's supposed to be a heel, so she's supposed to be annoying.
Yeah, and she, as I said at the beginning of this, she is the key element to this match.
Yeah.
And as I said, I'm not gonna spoil this. This is definitely one of those title matches that needs to be watched. The crowd in this as well are fucking rowdy as shit. They are up for this so much. It is absolutely brilliant. Please go and watch this match.
But I've talked about this a lot, and we've had the Danhausen debate, and I'm not going to go into that debate anymore, but...
Don't fucking make me say it.
No. No, but I think some people may get the wrong end of the stick with me.
Yeah.
I think that when I turn around and go, certain people would be better as managers, I think they think that I'm talking like a demotion. We come from an era where management was really important. Like we just mentioned those two names. Like Bobby Heenan was one of the biggest people on the card. Like in the golden era, just before the Attitude era.
Mr. Fuji.
Yeah, to an extent.
Paul Bearer.
Yep.
They're all characters you are always going to remember.
I mean, there's even unsung heroes there, like Slick. Slick was very good. We talk about him a lot. And I think the reason we do is because he actually has a lot of involvement in certain big feuds. And he's not talked about at all.
No. Jimmy Hart.
Jimmy Hart is a massive one.
Yeah. I mean, you look at the caliber of stars he's worked with over the years.
Yeah, because if you were with someone like that, you were good by association.
Yeah.
That's how it worked back then. I always remember them saying that about, not to bring it on Shawn Michaels again, but do you remember when Sensational Sherry got put with Michaels?
Yeah.
Most wrestlers said that was the best thing that could ever happen to Shawn because...
Yeah, I remember the feud with him and the model Rick Martel.
Yeah. The reason they say that, guys, is because Shawn Michaels was not the Shawn Michaels that we know now.
Yeah.
He had just come out of a tag team with the Rockers, and he was immediately, by association, seen as a big deal because he had Sensational Sherry with him, who had been with Randy Savage, who had been with Ted DiBiase. These are big stars.
Yeah.
So immediately placing Sherry with Michaels makes the audience think this guy's something special.
It's a catalyst.
Yep.
Essentially.
That's how it works.
Catalyst to the big time.
Yep.
Yeah. So yeah. please go and check this match out. Please go and check out all the matches that we've mentioned.
I think it's a fantastic point. Your one's fantastic because it also highlights the importance of managers.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And this is, as I said, this is coming from someone that doesn't like Zelina Vega. Her personality, her in-ring and, management personality. But she is that key element to this match between the three of them, between all three of them involved. She is vital to this. Otherwise, it would have been it was a pretty good title match.
Yeah.
But her involvement in this match is what fucking makes it.
Yeah, sorry for me getting involved in that.
No, mate, it's fine.
The reason why is because you've touched on one of the things that I think is so important, and that is the role of the manager, which is missing.
I'm happy you brought it up for the fact that you name dropped my boy Danhausen.
Yeah,
love that Danhausen.
I think he's great, but I stick to what I said. Yeah. And a lot of people again they see that as a demotion, and it's not.
No, it's not. It's not.
It's not. It's such an important part.
It's a lost art at the moment.
It's massively lost.
So there we go. There ends our top threes.
Okay, guys. So that is the end of our first topic, and yeah, that was really, really great. Actually, I really enjoyed it. It's really great and passionate shit there. No, I really enjoyed that.
Good luck fucking something the next one, isn't it?
The next one's quite difficult. I'm just going to take a brief little detour here, and basically, I'm just going to give someone a shout out. And the person I'm going to give a shout out is in our group, and he's highly appreciated. And we just want to say to you, mate, keep your chin up, yeah? Because you're a great contributor, and you not got to worry about anything, right? And that's Sam White.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Absolutely. Yeah. He had the great pleasure of reaching out to us weekend just gone. Yeah. Yeah, chin up, mate, like James said.
Yep.
Yeah. We're here if you need us.
Yep. So what we'll do is we're dedicating this to Sam, this little part. And yeah, just don't worry about anything, pal. You're welcome in our group.
Yeah. And maybe we'll see you at the Clash at the Castle.
Hopefully, that'll be lovely, mate. Okay? So, yeah, just a little tangent there, guys. Okay, sorry about that. But, yeah, just felt like we wanted to personally do that for Sam. Yeah. Okay? So,
I think
brilliant.
Right, so we're going to move on to our next topic, which is our best Survivor Series elimination match. I'm not going to lie, this was really fucking easy for me to pick.
Was it really?
Yeah, really easy.
It's a difficult one because it is, in a way, quite easy to pick because there's not many actual really, really good ones.
There's a lot of pay-per-views.
There's a lot of pay-per-views.
Not a lot of fucking good matches.
No, these matches...
Especially elimination matches.
Yeah, which is what we've gone for.
See, I was going to pick, obviously Extreme Rules, but quite frankly, Extreme Rules hasn't been Extreme Rules since it fucking started, if I'm honest.
Do you know what, though? It might be interesting, actually, because we've gone to TV14.
Very true, yeah.
I don't think, and I think quite rightly so, I don't think we'll ever go back to the absolute carnage that we had during like a Mick Foley or an Attitude Era.
That's my boy.
But I think for good reason now. I think we have to really think about the welfare of people.
Yeah, very true.
I mean, it's great entertainment for us, but Jesus fucking Christ.
Yeah, I don't, at the age of 40 now, I don't think my heart could probably take watching stuff,
I also don't really want to see anyone get seriously fucking injured for my entertainment. Not really.
No, absolutely not. So, without further ado, we shall go into our best Survivor Series elimination match. Did you want to go first, as you went first earlier?
Yeah, I'll go first. The interesting thing is, me and Stu, I had two in mind. And Stu picked the other one, which is actually really, really cool because what it means is that we can both work on the other one.
Best of both worlds.
Yeah, and I really appreciate that because you know how hard this is sometimes when you've got two and you can't pick. Yeah. So my one, guys, actually, do you know what? My one goes on a bit of nostalgia. I believe that this was probably the first pay-per-view I ever watched. So if that's the case, this would have been the first match I ever saw. Mine's the opening match of the 1991 Survivor Series. And even when I watch it now, there's something really, really special about this for me. I don't know if it's nostalgia or I don't know if it's the people in the ring. It just means a lot to me, personally. Okay, so in this match, I'm not going to give away the result because...
I don't think I've watched this one.
It's good. I'm not going to give away the result. So all I'm going to do is I'm just going to mention who's in the match.
Go for it.
Okay, so you have, I believe you might have joint team captains. And this is 4-on-4. And actually, I'll be honest with you. You know the traditional Survivor Series 5-on-5?
5-on-5, yeah.
I actually preferred 4-on-4. I thought it worked better.
Yeah.
So this match, co-captain Roddy Piper.
My boy!
Yep. Alongside, this is fucking ridiculous, alongside co-captain Bret the Hitman Hart.
Fucking hell.
With the British Bulldog and Virgil.
Meh.
Yeah.
There's always one.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Mind you, he works in this match, mate. And
true, he was a hell of an athlete,
because
fair. He was a hell of an athlete.
I don't know if so much that's because of who's on the other side.
Yeah.
Versus co-captain Ric Flair. And this is when Ric Flair first comes in.
Right.
Do you remember when he was saying he was the real world champion and all that?
And he came in with the title as well, didn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he came in with the WCW
I'm glad I remember
title.
that. Yeah.
And co-captain, the $1 Million Man, Ted DiBiase.
Nice.
So that's the virtual link is there.
Yeah, there's your feud straight away.
With the Warlord, who actually is kind of underrated. The Warlords has sort of got a little bit of a cult following now. Whenever you look at fan fests and things like that, the Warlord is always there.
He's always there. Yeah.
He's quite loved. Yeah. And, you know...
He's a fucking enormous guy as well, isn't he?
Cool, back then. The reason the Warlord was there was Davey.
Yeah,
Davey and him were feuding, muscle versus muscle. Yeah. So that's the reason he's there. And the Mountie. And the Mountie's, you know, we laugh... But the Mountie was actually seen as quite a big star.
He was.
Again, by association, he was with Jimmy Hart. So, yeah, it's those 8 in the ring. And I'm not going to give away the finish, as I say, but it's a really, really good match.
It's a hell of a lineup, to be fair.
It is.
That is a hell of a lineup.
It is. It's special for me, guys. I think it's the first match I ever...
I can't honestly remember the first Survivor Series I ever watched.
I'm going
pretty
down.
Sure it was around your house at some point.
Yeah, I'm going through a process of elimination because when we talked about that before, our first wrestling memories, I always remember the feud with Hulk Hogan and The Undertaker.
Yeah.
And that was Survivor Series 91, the Gravish Challenge.
Yeah.
So that would mean that my first pay-per-view that I would have watched. Because I don't know if you guys, the younger generation, probably won't remember this, but when we were younger, like Sky was so expensive, and
ain't much better now.
It's certainly not, but it was like such a luxury back then, wasn't it?
Yeah. And
basically, what you used to do is you used to get a friend to tape it for you.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, you did. Yeah. If you wanted to watch like wrestling,
big shout out to Charlie Miller there. Thanks again, mate.
So. I think that was the first pay-per-view I ever got on tape, and I think that would make that the first match I ever saw, because that was the opening match. Nice. So yeah, that's it.
Fair play. Mine's
it's a great lineup.
Yeah, it is, to be fair. That is a hell of a collection of superstars. And it's because we can now call them that, wrestlers.
Yep. It just feels special to me. Yeah. I don't know if anyone else feels like that or if it's just me because of that.
No, that's a great pick. Yeah. That is a great pick. Yeah, fair play. Mine's short but sweet. Really short but sweet. As James mentioned a little while ago, my pick was actually one of James's other picks, and I know we're both going to get involved in this conversation.
Yeah, we are.
Mine I can just sum up with 4 words. It's WWF versus The Alliance.
So this one takes place at Survivor Series 2001. All I want to say about this one, guys, is we're very, very aware that the Alliance storyline wasn't what we particularly wanted out of the merger of WWF.
It wasn't that
WCW.
Great, to be honest.
No, but the actual payoff for a Survivor Series match, I mean, I'll let Stu run down the actual names in this. If you listen to the names, this is pretty fucking amazing.
Yeah. Oh, it is, yeah. So for Team WWF, you have The Rock, Chris Jericho, The Undertaker, Kane, and The Big Show. Against, for the Alliance, Steve Austin, Kurt Angle, RVD, Shane McMahon, and Booker T.
Yep.
Now, as we discussed earlier as well, James made the great point of saying this was at the point where Shane McMahon was fucking entertaining.
He was entertaining, and also he was legitimate in there because he was the leader of WCW. He was actually the owner in storyline, so it made sense for him to be in there.
Yeah.
I believe the reason the Big Show is in there is because Vince was supposed to be in there but was injured.
Yeah. Which, I mean, to be fair, you know, it's not a bad thing. He was a vital part to it.
Yeah.
He was, you know, he was a great addition to that team. It was a brilliant end chapter to an otherwise abysmal story.
Yeah, and I think they were happy to get out of there. I'm going to give a shout out to Vince on this, and the reason why is because this match is actually there's quite a good storyline behind this match. Vince has been ridiculed continuously by the Alliance members. Do you remember Paul Heyman doing that really?
Oh yeah.
Bad
Savage.
That promo was done 3 days before this match.
Right, okay. That don't surprise me.
Because it was supposed to be winner take all.
Yeah.
Everything like that, right? So Vince does this brilliant speech. I don't know if anyone remembers it. He lines all of WWF's team up and he goes on about the history of like the WWF.
Yeah.
Like, and talks about how you mustn't let any of your predecessors down and how you'll be publicly shamed and everything for losing. The thing is, I don't know if Vince is trying to be a heel, but it actually comes across as really motivational.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And there's certain parts, the Alliance was not a good storyline because they didn't have the people to do it. But there were certain people who did promos in that era which were fantastic, and I'll just name a couple. Bradshaw did a fantastic one. Yes. So did The Undertaker.
Yeah.
That was the one when they were all sitting at the tables.
Yeah.
And then they brought in Freddie Blassie.
Yeah.
And everything like that. It's such a shame that they didn't have the talent because the way, if you look back at what some of the things they did, they were really, really good.
Absolutely.
So just a shout out to them, and also I'm gonna let Stu talk about this, but I'll bring it up. Is Jim Ross and Paul Heyman on commentary?
Yeah. Phenomenal. The arguments between the two, because obviously, you know, like James said, the arguments between the two. You've got Jim Ross, who's WWF all the way, and then you've got Paul Heyman, who's obviously, you know, with the Alliance being the previous owner of ECW. They're bickering back and forward constantly the whole time, obviously, you know, trying to outdo each other with whoever's dominating at the time in the ring. It's brilliant.
Yeah.
I love Jim Ross on mic. He's brilliant. He can hold your captivation of a match in the palm of his hand. But I love the energy as well of Paul Heyman.
This is a different JR. This is a JR that's being pushed by Paul Heyman.
Yeah.
And he's going like things like, shut your damn mouth and call the damn match.
Yeah.
For God's sake, all stuff like this. And they're talking about which one's going to be in the unemployment line tomorrow and stuff like that. And it's
on a comedic level, it's absolutely brilliant. But you've got to remember these two guys. They're so quick.
Yeah,
they are so quick to counteract each other's statements of what they're coming out with at the time.
I think
brilliant.
I think there's a line that Paul Heyman says something. I can't remember what he says, but it's something along the lines of unemployment, and he goes, "Bye-bye, JR, bye-bye." And JR just looks at him and goes, "Jim Cornette can replace you tomorrow night, pal." Or something like that. It's just done really well. It's quite realistic because even the commentators are fighting because they've,
it's not just a fight in the ring, it's out of the ring and behind the commentary table.
Yeah.
I love it. It's just brilliant. I mean, there's some key moments, obviously, from this match. Obviously, everyone knows the ending of this match. If you don't, I'm not going to say it, but everyone knows the ending for this match. But there's obviously a couple of key heel turns that are involved there as well. You've got one guy in particular that was meant to be billed as a heel for ECW, which is Rob Van Dam, but the crowd loved him from day one. And he's still every time an Alliance member gets in the ring, they're booed. But as soon as Rob Van Dam gets in, the crowd go ape shit. As soon as the fists with the thumbs come up in the air and he does the Rob Van Dam for the crowd to chart, they love him. They absolutely love him.
I just think that regardless of there being WWF guys sort of bulking this up, I think you have to look at the actual talent in the ring and the story that's attempting to be told. And it is difficult to tell with the talent they've got. But they do it well. In this particular Survivor Series match. And the way Jim Ross sells it and Paul Heyman at ringside, the way Vince is with the speech at the start, it does feel like a legitimately big match that someone's going out of business.
It's great. I genuinely think that's what I want to end my pick on. I can't say anything negative about it. I really can't, because this is exactly the reason. Do you just want to talk about? Do you want to talk about anything to do with the match at all? No.
Okay.
No. I want to end it just purely.
You know
on the
what
basis.
I'm talking about.
Oh, I know exactly where you're trying to go. Yeah.
There's two individuals who.
Yeah. I want to end that one there. Like I said, I'm going to keep it short and sweet. If you haven't watched it, fucking shame on you. But if you have, then man, you know where I'm going with it.
And also, if you haven't, you're in for a treat.
Yeah.
It's actually good.
Yeah, it's a really. WWE had gone, WWF at the time had gone through a series of Survivor Series pay-per-views, and I'll be honest, they were horseshit. They'd just been regurgitating the same old shit, and it was boring. It was boring. It was going stale. But then you have a pay-per-view like this, a storyline that had been milked to death and was quite honestly just done piss poorly. But the ending was absolutely worth the fucking payoff. It was brilliant. And like we said, the caliber of stars, those 10 guys in the ring gave it their all. And it was so entertaining.
I'll agree with you on Survivor Series being poor, but only one. I'll agree with 99 being poor.
No, it's fucking awful.
The only highlight really was Austin being run over by the car, which then sets up the storyline of that moving forward.
I did it for The Rock.
But what's interesting is I can't slam 2000 because 2000 was Triple H and Austin. It was over the thing that happened the year before, and that's when Austin dropped him out of the.
Oh, no, sorry. Yeah, sorry. I meant like Survivor Series matches.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Sorry. Yeah, I'll retract that statement. Yeah, I meant elimination matches. Sorry.
At that point, they were doing singles. That's the issue.
It was pointless calling it Survivor Series because it meant fuck all.
I think that was the first 99. They did some Survivor Series, but they were really poor.
They were shit. They were shit.
Yeah, they were really poor. Like I can't remember. One of them was the Bulldog and the Mean Street Posse.
Oh, fuck off!
As a team versus the Big Show, and the Big Show, because he was going to win the title. It was the time when we shouldn't laugh because it's just so crazy. The time when Big Boss Man was doing the thing with his dad. Do you remember?
Oh, I'm not going into this. I'm not.
And Big Show was angry, and Big Show eliminated everyone, including his own teammates. In that match, but so
less said about that, the bear.
Yeah. So
that's my pick. Yeah. WWF versus the Alliance.
And
check it out.
We might as well give a couple, because we've only given two. Might as well give a couple of honourable mentions, because there's been a few. I'm going to go with Team Raw versus Team Smackdown versus Team NXT.
Oh, fuck, I forgot all about that.
Both.
I preferred the women's one.
Yeah,
they were both awesome.
They were both okay. They were both pretty good. And the introduction of NXT made it fresh. So
Yeah.
I'm going to bring that one up.
Oh, I hope Triple H
that was on my list, by the way.
I hope he brings that
it's
back.
very close to being one of mine. The
Yeah,
reason
that's a good pick.
I didn't pick it was because I felt the ending and what they tried to do with the ending has been ruined.
Yeah.
Because the ending was really to highlight Keith Lee.
Yeah.
And that didn't work out. So
yeah.
That's why I didn't go that way.
You never know.
I think the problem is, this is my issue, Stu, with when I was talking about Aleister Black and all them, they're under contract. It's difficult. It's difficult. I don't know. I know that they're under contract for a number of years.
Yeah, yeah.
So, I
maybe,
you know.
Maybe one day, you know, let's see what the future holds.
That's why I feel shitty about people like Keith Lee and Aleister Black at the moment.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, fuck me, Triple H's in charge now. That's why Karrion Kross was so easy to get back, because he wasn't under contract with anyone.
He's free to go wherever he pleased.
Yeah. And he's by the way, he's such a nice guy, Karrion Kross. If you ever get a chance, watch him and Scarlett in shoot interviews. You'll actually like them.
They genuinely seem like such a nice couple.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like two genuinely decent human beings.
There's one point where Scarlett says that they talk about pet peeves because they've just got together. And Scarlett actually says, my pet peeve with him is he's too nice. He can spend an hour after shows just standing and talking to fans. There's been news about Karrion actually going out to bars with fans and standing just totally like a normal person, not like full of himself.
Good on him, though. Good on you.
I've heard really nice things about that guy, guys, and I just think it's nice to know.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm happy to win there.
I'm rooting for him.
Yeah,
anyway.
same as. Right then, we're going to go on to our final section, which is the news.
Okay.
I'm still adamant we need a bad news Barrett.
We'll get something. I'll come up with something.
I've got some bad news. Kenny Omega's back.
Yeah.
After nearly a year, he's finally fucking back.
What state is Kenny in?
Do you think this could be a final run?
I never heard good things, unfortunately. Of course, there are only rumours, but I heard that Kenny's body's broken down.
I did read that this was almost a career-ending, or
it's an accumulation of just absolute hard work. I mean, some of those matches in Japan was so intense, and
absolutely.
You know,
I'm not going to take anything away from the guy, because he is just he is, for me, I think he's going to be always held as one of the all-time greats. He's one of the best in-ring talents. Yes, absolutely. I mean, I remember when you fell out of love with wrestling, do you remember? And I actually told you about him. Yeah. And if you remember, no one really knew I've never
who
heard
he was,
of the guy.
did they? No,
not a clue, mate. I'd never heard of him. But fuck me if I followed his career since. Yeah. It's just phenomenal. And it is great to see him back, because I think he is missed. Yeah. Not just in the ring, but by the fans, but just in wrestling talk in general. Kenny Omega, whether you love him or hate him, whether he was a face or a heel, he is such a charismatic performer and such a charismatic person. It's been a great miss. See, I come across as a bit of a fanboy, but my dream is to see him in WWE. I'd love to see it, especially with Triple H in charge. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. The dynamics with Triple H in charge now have changed so much because Triple H is willing to listen. Yeah. And Triple H isn't stupid. He knows what the fans want. He's not stupid. No. This one's actually turned into a proper Triple H jizz fest, really, isn't it? I can't see how it fucking can't, because he's only been in charge for a little while, and I mean, I'm a big wrestling fan. Yeah. Not sports entertainment, wrestling fan. And what I'm watching on episodes, everyone's going, things ain't changed a lot. They actually have, guys. Yeah. There's actual wrestling and time given to wrestling on the shows, on Raw and on Smackdown now. Raw mainly. Yeah. It's, and saying that, obviously, talking about Triple H, and also, as you mentioned earlier, with the return of Karrion Kross Scarlett Bordeaux. We've also had the recent return on WWE of Dexter Lumis.
I like Dexter.
I love him.
I
He's
like
brilliant.
Dexter.
And I know he says fuck all, but he is. That is a great character. And he's great in the ring.
It's different.
Yeah.
It's different.
It's
I like him.
brilliant. And, I know there's been speculations of maybe is this like a blindsiding moment for, as we all saw the still of the hand coming out waving from behind the screen, possible Bray Wyatt. But irregardless of that, Dexter Lumis's return has been quite the impact.
Yeah.
A lot of people have got behind it because it was one of those talents that slipped through their fingers.
I tell you why I think a lot of people have also got behind it. It was really well done.
Yeah.
It was foreshadowing in the background.
Yeah.
So what WWE, and I hate to sound like a broken record, there are certain things, where you say like about a t-shirt.
Yeah.
I need a t-shirt about not insulting the fans' intelligence and organic.
Yeah.
Basically, what they did was, and everyone will know this anyway, there were smoking cars in the background and there was stuff going on the shows and no one was mentioning anything.
No.
Like the security would run past Alexa Bliss and Asuka and...
Yeah. And nobody batted an eyelid.
They did.
Well, they did, but as fans, we were just kind of like, well, what the fuck? What are they talking about?
That was the first bit where they really showed the wrestlers interacting with it. Because there was a part where I think Nikki Ash and Doudrop were doing a promo outside and the car was outside smoking.
Yeah.
And there was nothing said about the car. And there was one with Kevin Owens and there was Adam Pearce and all that looking around the car.
Yeah.
You don't need to tell the fans.
No, you don't need to point it out.
The fans are watching it and they love it because they're watching it and they're going, what's going on?
Yeah. It's a great return. It really is. And I hope it's the start of something impressive.
A lot of people didn't know he was.
Yeah, that astounded.
In the crowd.
Yeah.
In the crowd, a lot of people thought that was legitimate. There was obviously it gets around in the crowd, but at first there was a lot of people that didn't know what was going on with that security when AJ was looking in. Apparently, according to some people in the crowd.
What was it? Gronk at WrestleMania when he helped Moto earlier. One of the security guards actually thought he was just a crowd jumper and actually went to push him out.
Yeah.
Like, how the fuck I don't even follow American football. Even I know who the fuck Gronk was. Fuck's sake. But yeah, brilliant to see Dexter Lumis.
By the way.
Oh, I'm not even going into that.
Yeah.
Fucking shit. Brilliant to see Dexter Lumis back.
Yeah,
brilliant to see Kenny Omega return finally.
I wish him all the best.
And same here.
This is going to sound, Kenny certainly, and also Dexter, this is going to sound bad, but I'd like to see Dexter placed in the mid-card as a staple. And what I mean by that is, as someone who's constantly around the Intercontinental to the US title scene.
Yeah.
Because I think what Triple H should do is I think he should look at his booking sheet and I think he should... This can always change. But for starters, I think he should take a group of guys, maybe 6, and have them around that title.
Yeah.
Have them around that title. I'm talking about every title.
Yeah.
Whatever it is, make the titles important.
Yeah.
So Bobby Lashley's the champion, and I've got Ciampa around that. I've got the Miz around that. I've got whoever doesn't, I'm just throwing names out there. I've got AJ round it. I've got this, that, So you've got a constant thing where these guys can battle and move up, and then
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Constant flow.
Yeah, and then someone from lower down can then move into that Intercontinental, and maybe someone who's showing real promise can move to the bottom of the pile in the World Championship one.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, I see what you mean. Yeah.
It's not really any different to what happens in a wrestling game.
Yeah.
When you play like WWE 2K22 and you have a set of people who are in that championship group, it's that's what I would do. It can always interchange, but I would have a strong unit around there, like Gunther.
Yeah.
I would have like your Sheamus around him. Yeah. Who else on SmackDown at the moment? Your Shinsuke Nakamura around him.
Yeah.
And just because they lose, I would have that group, and I would have, say if Sheamus loses at Clash at the Castle, this is just an example, I would then have Shinsuke and Sheamus battling around that Intercontinental. That's how it was done years ago, and that's how I would do it now.
Goes back to that same word we use every fucking episode. It's longevity. That's what's got to be done.
Also, it's organisation.
Yeah.
Now, if Gargano comes back, I would have him starting out in one of those places.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I wouldn't have him because he's a workhorse. So I would have him starting. Everyone would go, straight title shot. No, not for me.
No.
I would have like Ciampa and Gargano around that title, one of those mid cards.
Yeah.
I'd strengthen the mid cards. That's what I would do. Yeah.
And speaking of wrestling games, as you said, of WWE 2K series.
It's clever, wasn't it?
Oh no, it was fucking brilliant. Very nice. AEW's Fight Forever game, which is coming out obviously for PS4, PS5 and Xbox and every other console that's going, has finally been given a release date, which is December 31st this year. I'm going to get it.
That's a strange date.
Yeah.
That's a strange date. I would imagine, I'm a video game person, I would imagine that will come out in 2023. I think that's a baseline date. I don't think they know when it's coming out, and they've just given that date.
Yeah. I'm happy with it. I know they released some test footage of the game.
Yeah.
It looked pretty smooth. I'm excited for it. It's a wrestling game. I love my wrestling
I just worry. Yeah. I just worry for AEW at the moment. It's not looking good.
I know. Yeah. I mean, we covered it a bit on the last episode as well.
It's got worse.
It's got worse. But on a plus side, we are. It's news as well. We are getting CM Punk versus Mox.
I'm staying out of this conversation.
I enjoyed the promo that they did. I did enjoy that. I'm not sure how I felt about the whole CM Punk and Adam Page bit. I mean, I know there is a bit of beef with them backstage, but keep it on the backstage, guys. And I love Punk. Everyone knows that. I do love Punk. Yeah, keep that shit backstage, quite frankly. I am hoping that the Jon Moxley and CM Punk match, pays off. I really do. But I don't want to get my hopes up too high because I feel like it could be crushed quite easily. But, we'll see what happens with that.
I'll say a couple of things because I know that, again, I know that there's a cult following for Punk and I do like him, right? But here's my issue with Punk, and it's beginning to rear its head. All I'll say is I hope that was a work. That's all I'm going to say.
Yeah.
I hope that was a work. Because if it wasn't, that's so unprofessional. It's so unprofessional, and it's so going into business for yourself, and it's so selfish. It's no need for that.
No.
Because what good does that do to morale? Because it wasn't just aimed at one person, it was aimed at two. It was aimed at their two really biggest people in the title picture at the moment.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to go too far into it because I hope to God, especially because I think some of it was very hypocritical if it was a shoot. I'm hoping to God that was a work.
Yeah, I hope so as well.
So do I. I'd like to see AEW succeed, don't get me wrong.
I would, yeah.
I can see the wheels folding off.
And I hope it doesn't. But, speaking of which...
do you think Tony Khan's
I think he's
big enough? Do you think he's big enough at the moment?
No, I think he's in over his head.
Do you think he's big enough to hold these egos down?
No.
Because there's an ego clash there.
No, because he comes across as a bit of a frat boy to me.
He comes across to me as you could easily... The inmates could easily run the asylum.
Yeah. But
I'm just a little bit worried that AEW is going to go the same way as WCW near the end.
Yeah, I was just about to say that. Yeah,
that's what I'm saying.
But, on a bit of a lighter note with regards to AEW, the rumours kicking around at the moment look like they could be true that MJF is on his way back.
It's good for AEW.
Yeah, I think it's phenomenal for AEW. That's the kick they need right now.
Yeah,
that is the kick they need. That is that one guy that can carry that whole, show. So fingers crossed. You know, I hope that happens soon. It needs it, quite frankly.
Like Kenny Omega, I hope he goes to WWE because it's TV 14 now and the sons of Triple H.
God, if you imagine if Will Ospreay went as well. Oh,
I just think when you think back to the podcast and how we felt so down on WWE, and we were looking at we were hoping for like this guardian, like angel to save us of AEW. I think the tables have turned.
And it's amazing how 8 months ago everything we were saying was so negative, and then all of a sudden it's just
it's actually gone the opposite way.
Yeah. Everything great that we were saying about AEW has now been flipped on its arse.
Now that feels stale.
Yeah. So only time will tell, folks. Only time will tell. And as always, let us know.
But
post comments on our social media pages. Let us know your thoughts about AEW at the moment. You know, where the show's going. What, you know, anyone else out there that feels like Punk's words on a recent possible shoot or whatever.
The problem is
how do you feel?
If it's a work, right, it's not that great a work.
No, he's done way better.
Because what it does is it creates a really big divide. Yeah. And it's not a good divide.
No, not in the slightest. And like, you know, like I said,
I've seen multiple things where you've got Punk's side burning Adam Page's stuff and Adam Page burning.
I think it was Jonny posted the video of someone.
I haven't seen it.
You know, it was someone burning the CM Punk.
No, they're all doing it.
Like
that's.
And I only put one comment in there, which was seriously, grow the fuck up.
Yeah, but the problem is that the people who they're looking up to need to grow up too. If that's not a shoe,
absolutely.
But I don't. I'll be honest with you guys. I don't understand where they're going with it. If it's a work, because a heel Punk does not need to do that.
No, it doesn't.
Because what you're doing is you're burying the potential talent that you've already got.
Yeah.
That's a burial of Adam Page, an attempted burial. And it weren't great on Moxley either.
No. And in all fairness...
You're actually promoting WWE.
Yeah.
Because he promoted, without saying the two individuals' names, he promoted WWE in that shoot interview.
Yeah.
He basically, if it was a shoot or whatever it was, he basically told everyone, hey guys, you know that show that we're competing against, WWE, the two members of the Shield are better than the guy that we've got now. They're better than the guy we've got now. He's the least relevant out of all of them. You know, the guy on our show, he's shit. The other two in the other organisation are really good. That's WCW shit.
Do you want to know the one opinion of this I would have loved to have heard more than anyone else? Because I'm a massive fan of her podcast, is Renee, Moxley's wife, because she is very good friends with Punk as well.
Yeah, I know. I don't get it. I don't get it. I have to be really careful because you see what we're seeing now. This is my issue with Punk, and I'm hoping to God I'm wrong and this will work. I don't think he's committed. I think he's committed for a little while when things are going right for him. Yeah. But I think that when things are not going right for him and he doesn't like it, he throws his toys out the pram.
Well, this is the one video that's popped up quite frequently. I've seen on a lot of different wrestling-based forums across the internet and social media. Is the sit-down table where Punk is in the ring, a WWE ring, and he's going on about, you know, selfishness of Triple H and burial of superstars, and the most frequent comment in that video is, fuck me, that's not aged well.
Well, it hasn't, has it?
No.
It hasn't. And the problem is that you can play the cards once and people can stand behind you, but if you do it again... Yeah. I'm sorry, there's issues.
You can back yourself into a corner.
Yeah, there's issues there, and this is why I was a little bit... I was happy Punk was back, because I do like Punk and I think he's great.
I believe it's been a year.
But this is why I was not absolutely over the moon, because I thought to myself, I hope he's not going to play this again, because he, at the moment, has the ability to derail AEW. And if Khan is not strong enough back there, he needs help. He needs a Regal.
Well, that was the name that I said.
Yeah, or an Arn Anderson.
Yeah.
Even a Tony Schiavone or a Jim Ross.
Dustin Rhodes.
He needs a group of people similar to how Triple H has got Shawn Michaels and how he's. I think they've just hired Road Dogg back. I could be wrong.
I'm not sure.
I know they're thinking about it.
I know he was working with NWA.
Yeah, because he got fired by Vince, but I think Triple H is trying to hire him back. That's speculation.
Yeah.
But I can see it happening.
Yeah.
Because they're friends, and I can. It's an easy thing to do.
Then you say as well. I mean, if that was a genuine work,
it's not good on the company.
It's terrible on the company. It's terrible on Punk.
It's a terrible creative decision.
Yeah, and if he decides to fucking walk again, well, that's it. Because I don't think WWE will have him back.
We also are relying heavily on the fact that the MJF one was a work. We actually don't know.
No. That's been kept very hush-hush.
Because if the MJF one, we're all thinking it's working, it most likely is, but we don't know. No. And if it isn't, MJF basically went out onto Tony Khan's show and completely ridiculed and shit on him.
Yeah. He did a Scott Steiner.
Well, WCW. He did. He went out there with a live mic and completely buried the company.
Yeah. Buried the company, buried the stars, buried the owner.
Yep.
And the channel it was on.
The problem is with the MJF one, a lot of what he said was actually true.
Yeah. I will give him his credit. I mean, even much like Punk's original one back in the day, they had a lot of point to it. We can all agree with obviously what Punk has said back in the day, but we can also relate it very well to what MJF has said.
Yep. But at the same time, here's my issue with Punk. Here's my issue. And I always sound like I'm a hater on Punk, and I'm not.
Because I won't have it.
This is apparently, again, these are all rumours, we don't know, but this is apparently over Colt Cabana. Now, Colt Cabana was the individual who stuck by Punk all the time. Now they hate each other. Now, Punk does not have a good track record, I'm afraid, at the moment, of people in the ring or fellow people. I know that he called Jericho out, and Jericho had to defend himself on his podcast because something along the lines of Chris just wanted to talk to him. And he said, I'm not going on your podcast for money. And he said, I just wanted to talk to you. Like, he's very hard to work with by the sounds of things.
Well,
I think's a shame.
I did read recently, wasn't it? Colt Cabana's been dropped down to Ring of Honor now, isn't he?
Yeah, apparently this is what it's about, Stu. Apparently, Punk does not want him on anything because he was wrestling on Dark. And Punk went to Tony Khan and said, because they had a legal issue.
Right.
It was over the claims that Punk had that big, like, goiter type ulcer on his back on the podcast.
Yeah.
And the doctor sued, apparently. This is all allegedly.
Yeah.
But there's got to be something to this because of the hatred.
Yeah.
And Punk apparently was annoyed at Colt because Colt wouldn't pay up or something, which I kind of agree with Colt to an extent. It was Punk who said it on his podcast and come out with the allegations. Yeah. Whether they were true or not, I don't know. But apparently Punk's had a lot to do with trying to get rid of Colt Cabana, and Colt Cabana is seen as a mentor to Adam Page and to all of the younger talent, like the Young Bucks and people like that. That's
the Dark Order as well.
That's where the anger's coming from, because he's been a mentor, even though he's not a jobber, but he's middle of the range.
Yeah, he's a seasoned professional.
To them, even though they've gone up to the high level they have, he's like a mentor, like a William Regal to them.
Absolutely.
So they're insulted by him being, this is what is rumoured to be causing a lot of it, because they're not happy with culture. Because he's trained a lot of them or mentored them, so they're not happy.
Yeah.
Which I can kind of get. Because you imagine they're all on the indie circuit and they travel around everywhere, and Colt's been that leader for them.
It becomes a family, doesn't it?
Yeah, and then one of their family members being told you can't be here anymore. The big person comes in, so
the boss man doesn't like you. Fuck off.
Well, that's Punk who's saying it. So, but as I say, I like CM Punk. I just wish he'd cut the bullshit. I'm not being funny. I hope that it's a work.
Yeah, same.
And I'll apologise for his.
Oh God, yeah, same here. And I am a massive, massive Punk fan, but I hope to God it's a work.
Yeah,
I really do.
I just hope that he has actually come back and is passionate about doing it and not causing loads of shit.
Yeah.
Because the toxicity at AEW at the moment is not going to do him any good. It really isn't.
Not in the slightest. Well, on a lighter note, I think we'll end it there. However,
have we got any other news?
No, that's it, mate.
I tell you what, news which I just want to say, because it's been kind of mentioned as well with some of my title matches. It's quite a sad period, especially this weekend. I think it happens in the week. NXT UK has ceased operations, I believe. I think it's going through a restructuring phase, and it's going to be NXT Europe now.
Right.
I think that's the rumours that are around. But a lot of talent's been released, and that's always sad. I'm
a
not
lot of good names as well.
Yeah, I'm not an avid watcher, similar to you of NXT UK. I pick up as much as I can, but Flash Morgan Webster, I think, went. If that's the right name, is it?
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
And, the Welsh lad went. Andrews.
Yeah.
He went. He was a pretty big UK star. He's a high flyer. That really strange one, I forgot his name. He's like a bull.
I'm not sure, to be honest, mate.
Yeah, he's got.
Not sure.
He posted Dave Mastiff.
Right.
Who's been an indie legend in this country for a real long time.
Yeah.
That's a shame.
Yeah. So fingers crossed, something will, work itself out, and it'll. Yeah. Christ, yeah. Absolutely. But yeah, as I was saying, on a lighter note, we are going to end it here. Just to say as well, a big thanks to everyone who gets involved, and also please keep spreading the word, keep listening to our episodes, keep following us. We love what we do. We just want to reach out to as many people as possible that enjoy what we do. And if you want to tell your mates that there's 3 idiots that talk shit, granted one of us ain't here today, Jonny. But
he's not. To be fair, guys, we're taking the piss a little bit, but he is not here for legitimate reasons. Believe you me.
Yeah, absolutely.
He would like nothing more than to be here.
Yeah, we spoke to him via FaceTime earlier, and he's genuinely gutted he can't be here tonight. Yeah, and we are as well.
We've actually had about, I reckon, a 45-minute chat with him before we started, and he is gutted. But there's nothing you can do. There's certain circumstances where
it's beyond human control.
Yes.
But so for our next episode, what will our top 3s be, James?
Okay, so it is my turn for the top 3. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go with the consensus of the Facebook group. Big shout out to you all if you're listening. I believe this has been requested by 2 of our, what I would say are the heart and soul of our group, actually. And that's
massively.
Jim Sangwell, is it? And
Rob Shepherd.
Rob Shepherd, we fucking love Rob here. And that's the top 3 entrances of all time.
Yeah.
So wrestling entrances of all time. The music in wrestling and the entrances are one of the most exciting parts of wrestling.
Yeah.
No one can deny that. There's a lot of people who always like to go, well, I love all the stuff in the ring. There's nothing cooler than an entrance. There's nothing cooler than a really good entrance.
Oh, yeah.
Me and Stu, it's hilarious because the topic that we just talked about, I think that me and Stu are probably going to pick one of the same ones.
Yeah, it's a good possibility. Oh, yeah. Yeah,
There's something that happened recently.
Yeah, very good possibility.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. And the best moments. Now, our next podcast will be after the Clash at the Castle. What we will do, guys, is we will make sure that we get you as much footage as we can from Clash. Yeah. Anyone who isn't going, We will show you live entrances. We will attempt to have live interviews with people. We'll really go for it. We'll have a nice set of things on the... vlogs we could do, couldn't we? Little vlogs.
Yeah, we can do some vlogs.
Yeah. Things like that. We'll do that for the channel. So look forward to that, guys.
Yeah. And for any of you guys that are going, wherever we end up, if we end up in a pub or something before the actual event, or a restaurant or a bar or something like that, we'll post on the Facebook page like where we are. Come and say hi. So
the best moments, because the next podcast will definitely, I think, be after Clash at the Castle.
Oh, yeah.
Will be our best moment. And I think that we're going to have a really, really good time. So I think there's going to be some honourable mentions probably there too.
Just as an idea, should we do a best and worst moment?
We can do.
Yeah. Mix it up a little.
Okay, best and worst moments from Clash at the Castle when we're there live.
Yeah.
Okay, so that will be our best of moment.
And worst of moment.
And worst of moment, actually.
So, yeah. So, as I said before, we are us three. We'll all be going to Clash at the Castle. We are really hyped for it. I've deliberately tried to stay away from talking about it because, I don't want to hype myself up too much for it and it end up being a fucking shit show. But I have got a good feeling about this.
It's not going to be shit.
But for those of you who are going, and for those of you who follow us and listen to us, come and say hi. Just come up, speak to us. We're gonna be floating around the Principality Stadium anyway. We're gonna try and get some interviews with some of you guys and some of you girls that listen to us. We're gonna be trying to get some, just have a bit of a chit chat and a laugh with, anyone that wants to come over, anyone that wants to say hi, anyone that wants to take part. The more the merrier. We're all here for the same reason. It's for the love of wrestling. So. Should we wrap it up?
We certainly can. Yep, I think that's about everything.
Yeah. As always, once again, thanks to Kyle J, who uploads all of our stuff on streaming services. Massive shout out to you. Everyone else that gets involved with the podcast, questions, getting involved in the topics, spreading the word of this podcast as well, tuning into what we actually talk about. It's all massively appreciated. Thanks again, guys. Cheers.
And I'm going to test everyone out there. I'm going to leave a sentence in the end of this podcast, and it is, I am so hyped for Clash at the Castle, leaving either my name James at the end or Stu. Let's see how many people listen to the podcast all the way through.
Yeah, fuckers. Yeah, thanks again as always, guys. And we'll see you next month.
Okay. Bye, guys.
See you later, boy.
If you're searching for a wrestling podcast that's filled with fun.
This is definitely Davey Boy Smith's finest fucking moment.
He goes, he fell on his ass. He fell on his ass.
Couple haters. That's staying in.
Wrestling nostalgia.
I will take you back to May 26th, 1996. It was a stormy night. The wind was howling.
Latest pro wrestling news and rumours.
We've heard about the situations between WWE, Sasha Banks and Naomi.
And hilarious tangents.
Let's not tangent off. No Samoan spikes.
That's it.
Fucking tangents.
Then look no further. Join your hosts James, Stu and Jonny and subscribe to Top Turnbuckle Podcast.